Hello everyone, welcome to Aishwarya Maths classes. How are you all? Hope you are doing good in your life as me. So, in the previous video on limits, we introduced limits along with some examples and theorems. In this video, we are moving forward to some questionnaires that will help to strong our concepts on limits. So, first question is, why do we find limit? Okay. This is the basic question which every one of us must have encountered at least once during our exams. So let's see the answer for it. While finding the value, we somehow come across to a solution which cannot be defined accurately. For example, if we consider a function f of x as x cube plus x square minus 2 root 2 plus 1 upon x square minus 2, and we need to find its value at x equals to root 2. So we will do this by simply keeping the value of root 2 inside the function, right? So we will get f of root 2 as root 2 cube plus root 2 square minus 2 root 2 plus 1 upon root 2 square minus 2, which will be equals to 2 root 2 plus root 2, right? So it will be 2 minus twice of root 2 plus 1 whole upon 2 minus 2, which is equals to, so this term can be written as twice of root 2 plus 1. So this is the positive term and this is the negative term. So after cancelling it out, we get 0 upon this is also 0. Now, if you look at the value that we have received here, we cannot be sure about it. This is due to the fact that any value with the denominator 0 is considered as infinite, like 2 upon 0, 3 upon 0. So these are considered as indefinite values, right? But here we have 0 upon 0, which can be confused as 0 also and not infinity. So at this point we failed to get the most accurate value of a function, and this means that we cannot find out the right value. So this is why we try to figure out at least its approaching value in order to move forward towards our solution, and this is why we introduced limits. Okay. Now we will apply limit to this function. Here another question arises, that how do we find limit? How do we find limit? Right, this we have done in our previous video, right, to find the limit of a function. Okay, so we find the limit of a function by using left hand limit formula and right hand limit formula, right? So for finding out the left hand limit, we use limit h tends to 0 f of x minus h, and for the right hand limit we use limit h tends to 0 f of x plus h. Since we are finding the limit of the function at x tends to root 2, so here we will substitute x as root 2 only. Okay. So we get, if we consider this function, we get limit x tends to root 2 x cube plus x square minus 2 root 2 plus 1 upon x square minus 2. Fine. So to find its limit, we will use the left hand limit formula and the right hand limit formula. Fine. So here we will get limit h tends to 0 root 2 minus h, and here we will get limit h tends to 0 f of root 2 plus h. Okay. So what we will do, we will simply substitute root 2 minus h inside f of x. Since this was limit x tends to root 2 f of x, so x now can be written as root 2 minus h for the left hand limit, right? So here we will get limit h tends to 0 root 2 minus h cube plus root 2 plus minus h square minus 2 root 2 plus 1 whole upon root 2 minus h square minus 2. Fine. And since h tends to 0, so we can already write h as 0. So we will get root 2 cube plus root 2 square minus 2 root 2 plus 1 whole upon root 2 square minus 2. And we will get the same answer as 0 upon 0 form. So it will be 0 upon 0 form, right? So here also we are not getting the right value. Similarly, if we solve this right hand limit, then also we will get towards a 0 upon 0 form. This means that still we do not get to our solution. So we will apply L'Hopital rule also along with the limit. We write L'Hopital rule. Okay. And the most important fact here is that we can apply L'Hopital rule with limits only. We apply L'Hopital rule to a function in a way in which we basically differentiate the numerator and the denominator separately. Therefore, this function after using L'Hopital rule can be written as after differentiating the numerator and the denominator separately, we can write the differentiation of x cube with respect to x as 3x square and the differentiation of x square with respect to dx as 2x, right? So we can write limit x tends to root 2 3x square plus 2x minus 0 because the differentiation of a constant function is 0 whole upon 2x minus 0 again. So we get limit x tends to root 2 3x square plus 2x upon 2x, right? So if we take the variable x as common, so we can write it as limit x tends to root 2 3x plus 2 upon 2. Okay, now we can find the limit, the left hand limit and the right hand limit. Fine. So we will get limit h tends to 0 f of root 2 minus h, and here also limit h tends to 0 f of root 2 plus h. Okay. So we will get limit h tends to 0. Now root 2 minus h can be substituted into the x. So we get 3 times root 2 minus h plus 2 upon 2, which can be written as limit h tends to 0, 3 root 2 minus 3h plus 2 upon 2, and after tending h tends to 0, we get 3 root 2 plus 2 upon 2, right? Okay, here also limit h tends to 0, 3 root 2 plus h plus 2 upon 2, limit h tends to 0, 3 root 2 plus 3h plus 2 upon 2, which can also be written as 3 root 2 plus 2 upon 2 after tending h to 0. right? So the limit, left hand limit and the right hand limit are equal. So this implies that the limit x tends to root 2, 3x plus 2 upon 2 has the limit as 3 root 2 plus 2 upon 2, right? Now you can see that this is the perfect answer to get an approaching value of a function if we fail to find its real value. Okay. Now if we see the difference between these two values, in which the first value is this and the second value was the 0 upon 0 form that we were getting before applying the limit with L'Hopital rule, we can see that this is the most accurate value to get to the solution of the limit of f of x at x tends to root 2. So this is the main reason we apply limit to a function. It also sets a base for continuity, differentiability, uniform continuity, sequences and many more. This is why, being the simplest topic of the course, it is yet the most important topic. Now let's move on to the next question, which is the example of a function in which limit exists at a certain point, but on the other point the limit for the same function does not exist. Okay, so this is the question. You can take any example if you like. Here I am considering the limit x tends to a for the modulus x, and I will consider two cases. Case 1 as a is equals to 0 and case 2 as a equals to 1. Fine. So if we consider case 1 a equals to 0, then we have limit x tends to 0 modulus of x, right? In the previous video of limits, introduction and examples, we have discussed a theorem which says that the limit x tends to a fx equals to L, then limit x tends to a modulus of f of x will be equal to modulus of L. Okay. So with the help of this theorem, we can find its limit. So we can consider f of x as x, which implies modulus of f of x as modulus of x, right? So to find the limit of this function, we will first find out the limit x tends to 0 for the function x. Okay, so we will have the left hand limit and the right hand limit. So we will get limit h tends to 0, f of 0 minus h because x is 0 here, and limit h tends to 0, f of 0 plus h. Okay, so we will get limit h tends to 0 and 0 minus h. If it is 0 minus h, we can write f of minus h, and here also we can write f of plus h. Fine. And minus h instead of x will imply f of minus h as minus h, so we can write limit h tends to 0 minus h, and here we can write limit h tends to 0 plus h. So h will tends to 0 and here h is also tending to 0, so 0 equals to 0. So LHL is equals to RHL, which will imply that the limit of x at x tends to 0 is 0. So this implies that the limit x tends to 0 mod of x will be mod of 0, which will be 0 only. Fine. So here the limit exists because the left hand limit is equals to RHL and the limit at x tends to 0 is 0. Now we will consider case 2 when a is equals to 1. Okay. Case 2 when a is equals to 1, this implies limit x tends to a is equals to 1. x tends to 1 f of x, and here we have limit x tends to 1 as mod of x. So by using the same theorem, which is this, we can find the limit by first finding out the limit x tends to 1 of x. Fine, so here we will have left hand limit and here we will have the right hand limit. You can check the previous video in which we used this theorem to find its value at x tending to 1, and we got the answer as the limit at x on the LHL side and the RHL side were not equal, means in one we were getting -1 and for the other we were getting +1. So the limit was not existing over here. Fine. Since the limit x tends to 1 at x does not exist, this implies that the limit x tends to 1 mod of x will not exist. Fine. Because in the theorem it says that if the limit x tends to a f of x is equals to L, then only the limit x tends to a mod of f of x will be equals to mod of L, right? So we can see that the same function that exists at x is equals to 0 does not exist at x is equals to 1. With the help of these concepts, questions and facts, we can easily think about the answers for the questions like when do we find limit, when do we use limit, what are the formulas of a limit, and many more. However, if you have any other questions different from these, then you can write them in the comment box below and those questions will get answered soon. We will do limit with graphs topic later, along with a comparison to continuity, uniform continuity and differentiability. Okay. So this is for today. You can like, share, subscribe and comment below if you have any doubts related to this topic. Thank you.